Welcome to episode 6 of Fables from the Pickled Quipper, where last we left off. Our adventurers had ventured into Dulcimer and were exploring the town for the first time. Let's see what other mischief they get into today.
Quick recap from last game then. You spoke to the people at the Shrine of Moradin, and they charged you with the clearing out of Bofin's Tor, a tower next to the forest south of the town. You spoke to a chap called Ingfrin at the Dried Branch, who said he might be able to have a little gentle work for you to go and just pick up some supplies for him from a farm to the north of the town. You spoke to some of the guards who very helpfully informed you of talk of some unusual activity at some caves where you may or may not have already met Gorbo. And if I recall correctly, your plans for today moving forward were to find a bar to rest up and take in some local color. There's currently two that you're aware of, the Bucket of Blood and the Traveler's Respite. You also wanted to stop in at the smithy before you left town. And then I believe that the initial plan was to go to the farm for Ingfrin.
Did we settle on the farm for Ingfrin?
We did. I have that written down too.
It's pretty much over to you guys now.
I guess what time of day is it?
It's probably getting on for lunchtime.
Well then I guess Savaris will walk over to Bardur and
Bardur, I'm not familiar with this town. Are there any shrines to Bahamut here?
Would I know if there is a shrine to Bahamut?
There's not currently a shrine to Bahamut here, no.
I'll answer. Not to my knowledge. I don't believe there is.
This should be rectified. Very well.
Shall we go to perhaps grab some lunch?
Claire's tummy rumbles in the background.
Nothing more appetizing than the blood place. They have food, or is it just a bar?
The Bucket of Blood?
Yeah, the Bucket of Blood, sorry.
Bardur, you would know. The Bucket of Blood is a very sort of no-nonsense. It's a place for your common folks, run by a half-orc by the name of Gim the Cudgeler. You know, it's the sort of place you go if you don't want too many questions asked and you don't want to answer too many questions. Alternatively, you can go to the Traveler's Respite, which is run by a snooty halfling named Hillador. It's a little bit more well-to-do.
I'm not gonna lie. The Bucket of Blood sounds a bit, much.
Yeah, hearing those choices, maybe Bucket of Blood wouldn't be my first choice either.
All right. Follow me to the respite. Unless anybody would like to stop at the furniture store before we...
I was literally about to ask, do we need to make a quick pass through the furniture store? Look for any good deals?
Oh, look. They're going out of business again.
So you guys are outside the Traveler's Respite. Fairly small place. Relatively small footprint. It is 2 stories. There are rooms available. It's fairly crowded inside. Chatter going on. There is an available table that you could take fairly close to the bar. You can just make out, sort of like peeking over the top of the bar, the top of a curly-haired head that's sort of like running around behind the bar, fetching drinks and throwing food up onto the bar. Not long after you get in there, you see Erin from the Two Halves come in and join a group of other sort of half-elf looking folks in one corner. Given what you know about their store, it seems about you feel like you've sort of pitched up at maybe the slightly nicer location for sure. As you come in, you do hear from behind the bar as the door closes behind you. You hear I'll be right with you.
Pull up a chair and sit down.
Oh, yeah, Claire's gonna follow Bardor and sit down.
How do the people in here look? Do they? Nobody looks too sinister, right?
No, it's a pretty good crowd. There's not really a blue collar white collar distinction in Faerun, but you get the feeling this is the equivalent of your sort of white collar group. This is your office drones coming in for their lunch before they go back to pushing paper for the afternoon, rather than your sort of the earth.
They're all in the bucket
Folks.
of blood, aren't they?
They're all in the bucket of blood, you would imagine, yes. Well, realistically, they're probably all out in the fields all day, and they
Yeah,
won't
that's
be in
true,
the bucket of blood till later.
And so it would have been the perfect time to go to the bucket of blood. Wouldn't have been busy at all.
No, whereas this place is hopping. So after a couple of minutes, a slightly disheveled-looking halfling comes out from behind the bar and scurries over to your table. Apologies for your wait. Welcome to the Traveler's Respite. I am Hillador. How may I be of assistance for you today? Some food, some wine, some lodging, perhaps? What do you need?
A stout ale.
Very good, very good. For the rest of you?
I'll have a mead, please. And the same whatever you're serving for lunch.
Right.
Lunch for me is
And anything to drink, little one?
a water.
And you, sir? She looks at Silvarius.
Do you have leg of lamb?
A whole leg?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, I do. I'll run you a little bit more, mind, but that can be arranged.
Just to be sure, how much more?
Normally, it would be 5 silver pieces for the meal. This would run you 1 gold piece for your meal.
1 gold it is.
Very good. And to drink,
Something cold.
right? And for you, young one?
Do you have some soup?
Yes, we can do soup. That's quite all right. In
And-
fact, well, yes, no, that's fine.
And some form of spiced wine?
Yes, we can do that.
Thank you.
And for you, my timid friend, and you see Kate is kind of shaking a little bit. Despite being a Delzimer native, he seems a little off color, not entirely comfortable being back here. Something strong and the soup, I think. Very good. What did Cater get? He got soup and a thing, so he's 5 silver. Okay.
Should we chip in to get him a protein shake or something?
And you,
He's already got 2. He can't even carry it.
Yeah,
A straw too.
yeah.
you do notice when he goes to pay, he has a fairly weighty coin purse on him.
Oh.
He's not hurting for money.
As they're sitting there, I look over at Cater and I ask him, "Do you have a weapon?"
Yes, my brain.
Yeah, right about that. So I lean over in my boot, I pull out my dagger, and I slide it across the table to him. Just keep that. It might do you some good.
Okay.
Is this a secret ploy to offload a bunch of weight so you can carry more?
Yeah.
Are we
whenever I
gonna gradually weigh him down with offer him stuff as if we're helping him out? But
Well,
really,
it's for whenever I actually need to carry Cater back from the farm.
that's true. Yeah.
At level 4, we'll give him all strength so he can be like a mule.
Yeah. Exactly. But every time we give him something, we make it sound like we're doing him a big favor so he can help survive.
This armor will keep you alive. This full plate.
The second set of armor will also
Yeah.
lie.
You guys are so mean. The drink that you're given, Silvarius, you can tell it has been cooled magically. By whom you're not sure. You didn't observe anything, but the glass itself is actually chilled. Not something that you've had before, but it's quite potent.
As he sips.
Can I like listen? There's other people in the room too. Can I just kind of hear as we're eating, like maybe catch some of their conversation?
Yeah, make a perception check. Ah, yes, that lovely -1.
A 4. Yeah.
It's quite noisy. It's hard to pick out an awful lot. You hear snippets, but it sounds like most people are just kind of talking about work. You hear Aaron briefly talking about a new order that's supposed to come in. That's about it.
After Silvarius finishes his meal, he kind of pushes his plate to the side, or he pulls out actually this kind of like a silver tube, and it's like highly decorated on. Got a lot of decorations on the outside of like kind of like a mountain ranges, kind of artistic dragons and sort of like mythical creatures. And he pops the top off and he pulls out some parchment paper and he lays it down and he casts his illusory script spell and he begins to write on the paper.
Make a sleight of hand check for me.
Extremely good at these with a 1.
As you are starting to work on this, Hillador comes over and says, sorry, what are you doing?
He looks up at him.
I am writing a message.
With magic?
Is that a problem?
We just get a little, some people are put on edge a little bit when people are practicing magic in the middle of the lunch rush. But I suppose if all you're doing is writing a letter, that's not so bad.
So
Very well.
Silvarius kind of motions with his hands at like parchment paper in front of him and a pen.
Any problem here?
No, I suppose we're fine. As you were.
As you were.
So sassy.
He goes back to writing.
Hillador trundles off a little put out by being spoken to in such a way, but not willing to push the issue.
As Silvarius is writing, if anybody is looking, he's actually the strokes across the paper. He's physically doing that, but there's nothing visible.
I was gonna say I might not see it with my 4, but I guess with your 1, maybe I still see it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not that hidden.
Silvarius is holding the pen with his like balled up fist, and he's like a child writing with a crayon.
Yeah,
Nothing subtle.
Pretty much that's what's happening here.
And doing it so loud I can't hear any other conversation. Great, just great.
So you
Silvarius, who are you writing to?
He stops for a second, keeps writing.
I'm doing what Eska would be doing.
Keeping quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Understood.
She just kind of she looks at the others and kind of gives them a meaningful look, one by one.
Claire glances between Silvarius and Eska and then focuses back on Silvarius and just says, "You don't have the best manners, do you?"
He lays his pen down, looks over to her.
There is nothing wrong with my manners. I simply did not need to respond.
Well, there's politer ways of saying that than just ignoring someone.
And he kind of eyes her a little bit. Tilts his head back,
I suppose you are correct.
And he looks over to Eska.
None of your business.
Claire just rolls her eyes and just goes back to eating.
Eska mutters under her breath, and Severus, you smell the faint odor of a skunk in your general vicinity.
So various. Make
Yes.
make an honor saving throw.
Does anybody else smell?
It's a 5-foot cube, so I can localize it pretty well around him. Well, no. In fairness, we're at a table. Probably,
Who's
there's a
adjacent?
chance it would.
All right. Well, if I'm smelling it, I'm gonna pull out my pipe and strike it up to kind of like mask that smell.
All right.
Eska looks at Badur and kind of like tilts her head towards Silverius and shrugs.
Yeah. What's the roll?
22.
You feel like you should behave appropriately, but I'll let you determine exactly what you think is appropriate.
He's not very charismatic, but he knows the rules a little bit. But, however, he's still going to point over to Eska.
You enjoy playing games, don't you?
Oh, you're talking to me.
I am not very kind. Playing such tricks.
Says the person writing in invisible ink.
I have my business to attend to, just as you do yours. I am not the only one with secrets here. Don't try to act as such.
Anyone for dessert?
About that moment, Hillador comes back to start picking up some plates and gives Silverius a filthy look. So, where are we going now then? Says Cato.
I need to stop by the dried bunch for a moment. And we can get on helping.
We need to go there
Perhaps.
anyway, right?
Yeah, perhaps you could find out more about what we're looking for.
I can do this.
Someone might
We should
wanna
probably
go
go with you. Yeah, let's all go.
I don't
What you
think
trying to say?
shopkeeper liked him very much the last time.
No, we could do with that shopkeeper staying alive for future purchases. So
So Various eyes goes over to Eska again and says,
I'm not going to kill the man.
good.
So, having settled up for your lunch, you then meander back over through town, just go past the Nagra Guardhouse, and then return back to the dried bunch. Definitely not the dead branch.
I don't think I came in last time, did I?
I think you were outside.
I will probably do likewise this time. I'm actually gonna seat myself down briefly, see if I can ascertain what the weather's gonna be like for the next little while.
Right.
Claire will go in, but before you see her go in, she takes a couple of deep, bracing breaths. Like this is a bit of a struggle for her to go back in after her last awkward conversation.
Eska, as you sit there and focus, get the idea that actually there's likely to be a pretty intense storm coming through later in the day. You know, high wind, rain. Probably there's going to be some thunder and lightning.
Do I have a feeling what sort of time frame we're looking at for that to roll in?
In the next 2 to 3 hours. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
And then
She just kind of looks over to Badur and says, "If we're gonna get this done today, we need to get a move on. I feel like there's bad weather coming in."
it does feel a little cooler now than it did before you went and got lunch.
I wouldn't necessarily want to be out in it for too long.
All right. Well, once the others figure out what we need to do, we can maybe push it there and before the storm hits.
Aye.
Kate joins in. By the way, they were saying that the weather's taken a turn, so we might need to speed this up a little bit.
Won't be long.
That filthy eavesdropper.
He was standing right there next to you. It's not eavesdropping. He's literally there talking to you. Well, he's right there. Lifting his weights.
Yeah.
The DM finally submits.
Oh dear. Yes, hello? What are you doing back here?
Well, I think we've decided as a group that it might be a good idea to maybe help you out with that farm thing.
I see. How noble of you. Good. I can give you a list of the ingredients I need. Obviously, losing my apprentice, Mithro, was an inconvenience. If you're willing to take care of business for me and go up to the farm, then I can continue my work here. That is good, yes. So, are you able to take down a list if I give it to you? I need some very specific items.
We can try our best.
Right.
And
Okay.
just curious question.
Yes.
How far is the farm?
It's about an hour or so northwest. Sorry, northeast.
Claire kind of just looks at Cater and kind of shrugs a little bit.
He shrugs back.
Good talk.
Right. So, here's what I'm looking for. There is a river on the way that I will need you to make a stop at. At the river, I need marshmallow and creep cluster.
I heard marshmallow.
No, marshmallow. There's a scowl aimed in Silverius's direction, even though that wasn't Silverius who said it.
Does I know I'm not there, but is Cater sort of seeming like he's taking this in?
Yes.
'Cause I'd assume he's our biggest expert on this stuff, probably, maybe.
Yeah, those who are in the room can see that he is making a note and understands. Depending on how much you bring back, I may be able to supply you with one of each of the 2 potions that this will be creating. I thank you for your efforts. Also, I will then be able to have these potions available for purchase because I will make them. Obviously, though, potion making takes time, so I can make you 1, but the others you may have to wait a little while for. So per potion, I need 1 bushel of marshmallow. It's quite a lot, but it condenses down. So 1 bushel per potion. Obviously, as much as you can carry will just enable me to make as many as possible. It really depends. That marshmallow you should have no difficulties finding, and you should be able to find it in good quantity. Creep cluster, I need 4 ounces per potion. Then at the Ringheart farm, they should have recently brought in their wheat harvest, I believe. I need 2 bushels per potion of wheat, 15 flame stalks, and I need half a dozen cork bulb roots. That'll be everything for those. And then for the other one, 5 grey chanterelles. Grey chanterelles? Don't you mean black? I'm aware that some people like to use black chanterelles, but I have found that the grey chanterelles are actually more efficient and produce a more potent potion, though it is a more taxing process to prepare them. 5 per potion. And finally, I need axebeak feathers. At least 3 per potion. Any questions?
As he was going through that list, Claire's eyes have gotten progressively buggier and buggier until at the end she's just slightly slack-jawed and just, eyeballs bulging out of her head.
And to the side of you, you've got Cater, who's there just sort of, he's not writing anything down, like physically writing anything down, but you can always see him like making a note, just sort of like on, with invisible pen on invisible paper. But you can see him kind of like making a list as he goes. Oh, I see now why you want the Grey Chantrell. That makes sense. Well, it's a good thing we've got a giant dragonborn to carry, because this is going to be quite a lot of stuff. Well, I didn't say it was going to be easy, but, that's just the way this works. The farm should have sacks and such for carrying. Shouldn't be too bad for you. Was there anything else you needed from me? Or can you leave me to my work?
Just one more thing.
Yes?
Do you have a brass brazier? Portable variant, perhaps?
Yes, I suppose I don't need it right this second. I mean, it's not for sale, but you could perhaps borrow this one, since you're working for me. Yes.
Do not lie, I would find it most appreciative.
Very well. And he produces a cleverly collapsible one. It has legs that sort of flick out from underneath it. So when it sets up, it sits about 18 inches off the ground, say 9 inches across. This is what I use when I'm traveling, but obviously since I'm here, and he sort of gestures to a significantly larger brazier that's just gently, just a little bit of light and underneath the coals, sort of peeking through. You may borrow this one as long as you take good care of it and bring it back in one piece when I need it. I would suggest, just in case I need to travel, that at some point you speak to Semlin and see if he can create another one for you.
I've not seen a collapsible variant of these before.
Well, there's a reason that they say Semlin is the best smith in town, and arguably the best smith in this part of Faerun. Despite only having one arm. It doesn't seem to have held him back any. Right, well, off you pop. Leave me to my work, please. I have a special request in from, well, you don't need to know that. Off you go.
Claire's pretty much just staring at the list as she walks out, still looking a little flabbergasted.
So, I don't know if you realize what we were getting ingredients for there. You don't strike me as alchemists, if you don't mind me saying.
No, to be honest, I only took one potions class when I was in school.
One of them is just potions of healing, which are obviously very useful. The other one, though, is a little bit more interesting. He was making filters of strength. I'm not quite sure how potent those are going to be. The Grey Chantrell should help with the efficacy, like he said, and then using axebeak feathers is unusual. He's a little bit different, this guy. I would imagine even I would feel a bit stronger using one of those. Not to say I'd be strong, you understand, but, stronger. So, yeah, that could be useful, especially if we get to keep one after he makes it.
When you say different, do you mean dangerous?
Probably just unconventional. I mean, alchemy comes with a certain inherent amount of danger.
Esker gets up impatiently and says, "We should maybe get a move on before the storm rolls in."
This honestly seems like quite a lot to try to find before a storm comes. He said it would take an hour to get to the farm, and then, I mean, there's bushels of things to get.
Well, perhaps we could head that way, and if the weather seems bad, we could always take shelter. It is a farm after all. I assume there is a farmhouse. Do we know if there's a farmer?
No, I kind of forgot about that part.
Are we supposed to pay this farmer for this stuff, or are we?
Kind of forgot about that part too.
Maybe
I told you I
maybe
wasn't
just run
going
back. Maybe run back in somebody who he likes and just check on that.
Cater.
All
Why
right,
don't you
I've
go
got
in?
this. I've got this.
Barge in and be
Give me his name.
with more subtlety.
Who are the farmers that work out there?
Oh, you're back. Lovely.
And you're still here.
Indeed. The farm is owned by Julia Ringhart. I believe she has 2 relatives who work there with her. I don't remember their names. They are not really worth my time.
Must we speak with him about these ingredients? We aren't stealing from them, are we?
No. I have a long-standing arrangement with the Ringharts. They provide for me these materials, and I keep them in good health. And I have been known to provide them with some of my potions to help them, especially during difficult harvests.
Just want to make sure. They might not understand who we are when we approach.
You just say that you're working for me. Really, it's quite simple.
Yes. Good day to you.
Good day.
Walk back out and share the information with everybody.
Yeah, let's see what we can get done at least before the storm.
The storm. Was it Eska by chance who warned us?
Yes.
Good to know.
So,
Do we need a marching order, or are we just doodling along?
yeah, let's have a marching order, actually.
I'll be second, I guess.
I'll probably be close up front. I'd say around cassette.
Okay.
I'll be behind them.
Cater is
Yes.
hanging next to Claire, always.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll just bring up the rear then.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and make a survival check for me, Bardur. You're able to guide pretty comfortably. No issues. The temperature does cool off a little as you're pushing along.
I guess we need to keep an eye out for the marshmallow as well.
So there's 2 things at the river you're looking for.
Marshmallow. Creepy clusters. It sounds like a Halloween candy.
It does.
A creep cluster.
Creep clusters.
Sounds
Scary
like something
chocolate.
that's good for making potions in Skyrim, if I remember rightly.
I don't know what you mean.
Are we collecting this guy's Skyrim ingredients? He get out of our game.
He didn't ask for a giant's toe, so we should be okay.
Cater, Silverius, Claire, and Cassette. We'll have those 4 please make a survival check.
I'm just gonna, as they do this, I'm just gonna naturally keep a watchful eye for weird stuff creeping up on it.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Yeah, I want to do the same.
Likewise. Cater, who should do well at this, doesn't really say anything.
Yeah, I ended
Silvarius
up with an 8.
13.
Claire, also not so much with the luck. But Silvarius.
Survival 11 from.
Okay, so Cassette and Silvarius, you were paying enough attention that you were able to pick this information up. Silvarius, you see what you think looks like the marshmallow, and you do have to kind of climb down to get to it. It's sort of like at the bottom of this little fall. Thankfully, Cassette, the creep clusters are they're actually hanging off the bridge, so it's not too hard at all to gather some of those. So you can spend some time getting yourself those. Eska, you don't see anything out of order with your 13 perception. Bador, you see that 22. As you look sort of So you're kind of on the bridge at the moment, looking downstream. Nothing really happening there. You turn around, look upstream, and you think you see a figure moving. Take a kind of closer look. Maybe a young woman, fairly attractive, kind of human looking. Make a sanity roll for me.
It'd be 12
Plus 3.
3.
Okay.
So
So as you're looking, there's this brief instant where the woman, as you look at her, she shifts suddenly from young woman to old, wrinkly, run down. Clothes are just sort of like hanging off her weirdly. She briefly locks eyes with you and smiles. You see her bite her thumb, and then she disappears into the undergrowth.
bite her thumb. How?
Like she just like bites at her nail. And as she does that, you look down and you see that there's like a torn off bit of thumbnail that you don't remember that happening. But then you stop and think, have this weird moment of it's almost like a memory or a dream or possibly a nightmare. But you remember standing in a house in a clearing and ripping off a piece of thumbnail and spitting it across the room at that woman. But then as she disappears, a couple of seconds later, you return to normal.
Is the fingernail still there?
No, it is missing. Like it's not like the whole thing's gone. It's just like the end of the nail has been sort of like aggressively torn off. And looking at it, it looks like you remember from this dream, nightmare, memory thing, whatever it is.
And do I it's just a flash. I don't really know who it was or anything like that.
Yeah, you don't remember anything more than that. Just remember the house in the clearing, but even that's faded quickly. As the memory fades, you do see in that room Cosette out the corner of your eye.
How far away is Eska?
10 feet. You're both, I would imagine you're both sort of like on the bridge, kind of checking around.
I just go, psst, hey, do you see anything out there?
No.
I saw something. It was strange. I don't know. It's like a sort of a weird deja vu moment.
Okay.
I'll just start to like kind of patrol back the other way.
So far as he would have looked at like Claire, and he would have looked at Eska, and looked back at Claire, or not Eska, Cater, and kind of back and forth between the two of them. He finally settled on Claire.
Claire's got a bunch of random flowers and plants in her hands. And she's just kind of looking at them, and she doesn't look like she's knowing what she's doing.
Make a nature check for me.
Oh, that would be a 20. Unnatural, but still.
Okay. Your instincts kick in, and you avoid picking up the poisonous dog banes that are there. They are pink flowers that are growing there, and there's just something in your mind that just says, "Hey, maybe don't pick those ones."
As Eska's looking down, she surreptitiously just sort of every few seconds makes one of the flowers that she's picked kind of bloom out extra.
What, making Claire's flowers nicer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, she makes the buds kind of bloom, and
Sylvaris tells Cater,
You better come with me. She seems preoccupied.
Do you
Right.
think any of these flowers would be helpful? I don't know what they do, but they're awful pretty.
Cater kind of takes a look. I bring them just in case. You never know.
She happily just keeps picking flowers.
Right. So Cater comes down. Go ahead, make a. How long do you want to spend picking the marshmallow, Silverius?
with Cater's help, I reckon about 10 minutes or so.
Okay, make a athletics, nature, or survival.
Oh man, Sylvarius flexes
Cater gets a 14 on nature. Yeah.
and does okay with an 11.
Okay, so yeah, between the two of you, in the 10 minutes, you're able to get 2 of the bags filled up. So you've got 6 bushels of marshmallow. Cassette, if you will also make a athletics, nature, or survival for me. Okay.
20.
Okay, you managed to get 20 ounces of the creep cluster into a bag.
That seems like a lot.
That's a good chunk.
20 shots.
It has noticeably cooled since you left. It's approximately halfway, so about half an hour's travel between sort of like searching and then gathering. About another 15, so about 45 minutes in so far. The wind's picked up a little, but it's still not bad. No rain yet, but clouds have started to move in.
Shall we push on?
Claire's
Okay.
like got armfuls of just flowers.
Savaris climbs up with his like pouch and sees her flowers and just shakes his head.
It seems so. Bardor, if you will, make another survival roll, please. See if you can get us the rest of the way to the farm. 12. Okay.
Dice hovered on a 20.
I mean, you're able to lead the way. You feel reasonably confident? Question mark. And eventually, you end up coming across a farm. You can see there's a windmill that kind of marks the farm, and you can see some of the trees standing up. But it's not until you get further down the road that you see a signpost, which indicates that you have reached the Ringhart farm. It took a little bit longer than you would have hoped.
I like that they have gone green and put solar panels on their roof. That's good of them.
Forward thinking for their time, especially.
Yeah.
You know what? You are all giant poo-poo heads.
Can we see over these?
No, they are about 6 foot. How tall are you, Silverius?
6'8".
You can kind of see over the fence. Not perfectly, but you can kind of see over it. You can see the top of one of the guys' heads there as he's working in the field.
Savaris is just gonna kind of like holler out.
Hail! You there, farmer!
Oh dear.
There's no response for a moment, and then you see a woman step out. Hello. How can I help you?
Are you Julia, by chance?
Yes. And who might you be?
We are here, sent from Ingrid, over from Delzimer.
Well, I'm assuming you're not Mithro, since you're about twice his size. What's your name?
I am Silvarius.
Well, met, Silvarius. I'm assuming you're here to pick some items up.
That we are. Good many.
I'd be very happy to help you. However, I have a slight problem that, funnily enough, I think you might be able to help me with. One corner of the farm has been taken over by a pair of nesting axebeaks and has grown rather wild. I need them dealing with so that I can reclaim that ground. My two, and she sort of looks to her left to the 2 guys that most of you can't see. But Silvarius, you can now see the tops of 2 heads there. My nephews proved inefficient at dealing with them. I'm rather hoping you might have more success. It's just the other side of the windmill there, into that next fenced area. If you just go there for me, take care of the creatures, and that will be just fine. Thank you.
Do I know what an axe beak is?
Roll. Anyone who's interested can roll a nature check.
Silvarius, 22.
Claire,
That's it.
11.
17 for
16 for me.
Claire's still very distracted by her pretty flowers.
It's like Axbeak, that must be a flower.
Actually, even Claire gets this one.
Ooh.
So Axbeaks are very large, very angry birds. They are flightless, along the lines of an ostrich, but then give it a much angrier, almost eagle-like head. But shape, like the rest of the body shape, is very similar to an ostrich.
Seems like a good opportunity to get some feathers. Potentially, like, would we know if it's the kind of thing where you can sort of shoo them off, or do you have to deal with them in a more aggressive way?
Certainly, Savaris, you would know based on your ludicrously high roll. They are generally fairly aggressive, but they have enough survival instinct to know when they're outmatched. There are also situations where they are unlikely to leave, for instance, if they are nesting.
Before Julia walks away, if Silvarius knows that, he would pipe up.
What brought them here?
I believe they thought it'd be a nice place to lay some eggs.
I was afraid of that. Well, shall we handle this?
Yes.
Aye.
Doesn't sound too difficult. Do we need a plan? Plan of attack? Anything we can do to minimize the struggle?
We could simply kill the beasts. However, I'm not of the mindset of merciless slaughter.
Could we just kind of shoo them away?
Provided they are not nesting there. However,
Or do we have a way to knock them out?
Silvarius looks at Esk and says,
do we have anything?
I mean, you're pretty strong. You could probably knock them out. Silvarius, why don't you go in, see if you can knock them out. If it doesn't go as well as planned, we'll follow in after.
Not the best tactician. I'm not walking in there alone. They are birds, but they are powerful.
What if you pretend to be a young Axbeak? Perhaps you can lure them away.
he just kind of like stares at you.
I mean,
You feel like you know how they would sound, for the record.
Yes, you already look a bit like an Axbeak. No offense.
Some taken. Anybody else with any other interesting suggestions?
Julia goes
would-
back to a little bench and sits down to watch Garth and Myron, her nephews.
I would certainly agree that killing would be an absolute last resort.
I would not mind distracting them. I can do this much. If anyone else would care to relocate the eggs, if that is the case.
Yes, perhaps if we get hold of the nest of the clutch of eggs, we could lure them out with it.
Yeah, how many eggs and how big of a nest are we talking about?
Unknown.
Okay, I might have an idea. If we can pull them away from the nest just enough to where I can grab at least one, I can get out of there pretty quick. And maybe they can chase me. And we can get them out of the farm that way, potentially.
It sounds like a solid plan to me. I would love to see the race between you and two angry Axbeaks. It sounds entertaining if nothing else.
And if you maybe could pull out a few feathers on your
Yes.
way. I mean, we do need feathers.
I'm hoping there is a nest full of them.
Just in case.
Better safe than sorry.
Bardeur,
Yes, I.
What do you speak of that would make you faster? Some spell, you know.
Yes, I have the ability to run fairly fast. Um,
D- uh, which spell do you have?
I've got long stride.
Okay, I was about to. I actually have that too.
Aha. Maybe both of us could, if there's more than one egg, both of us could grab and.
That could work as well. Corset, how about you?
Yeah, I can grab. I'm not very quick, but I could. Well, maybe I could be the backup distraction if they don't follow you. I don't know. I mean, I could certainly,
I can.
stand in the way of those taking the eggs if they do come after them.
Allow me to bless you with Long Strider. I'll handle the distraction.
Do we need somebody strong once the birds have moved to drag the nest out?
I could do that.
Yeah, if one of you two would be willing to do that.
All right. So talk me through who's doing what.
I am going to cast a long strider on Cassette, I believe.
And I guess I will probably just do long strider on myself.
Sylvaris is on distraction duty.
Which entails what precisely?
Gathering attention.
Bardor, what are you going to do?
Well, whenever I see an opening, I'm gonna try to go in and grab one of the.
Perhaps I could run and have a quick look, see if I can scout out where the nest is without being seen. And if I'm seen, I guess be ready to go into action. Don't worry about it. I can get out fast enough. But I could run and have a quick check. Maybe just have a peek over the back wall.
That
I'm
sounds
going to go
better than
to-
going in blind.
It
I'm
won't
going
take
to
me a
talk to
moment.
Julia. Bye bye.
If nobody objects, I'm gonna run do that.
After you.
Alrighty. So I'm going to attempt to kind of skirt the top outside subtly as I can, and then get round to the trees, kind of top, sort of like above the north wall, and sort of peek. I want to see if I can peek over and kind of get a quick sort of lay of the land before we go in.
Gotcha.
Is there a place we can get to that we can see through? Like,
So
So yeah, you can see there's one bird sort of like in that northeast corner. That's all you can see right now. And it's just sort of prowling around.
No sight of a nest there.
Mm. There's a collection of leaves in the corner behind it, but you're not sure if that constitutes a nest or not. Eska, make a stealth check for me.
Yeah, I'm going to sort of skirt as north as I feel like I need to before I drop back down. Oh,
Oh
that's
no.
that's a 9.
So while you're there, like where you're at right now, you see the bird turn to face you and kind of let out a.
I stop in my tracks and try to work out what it's going to do next.
Just sort of
Well,
tilts
or I wait to see what it's going to do next.
kind of tilts its head and looks at you, like paws at the ground a little bit, and just watches you for now.
Okay. I just sort of slowly back up. I give up on my plan, and no, you know what? Everybody's close by. I kind of look around. Everybody seems like they're not too far off. I'm going to see what happens if I continue on my original course. So I guess sort of continuing. If I keep sort of, I guess, effectively going towards it, but kind of moving over this way.
Yeah. As soon as you do that, it like starts screeching louder. It kind of like rears up a little bit and puffs out its chest and starts flapping its wings angrily.
can I see this?
Yeah, Bardor right now is the only one who can't see it from his current position. Because he can see actually because it's kind of like pulling itself up. You can actually no, you're too short. No, you wouldn't be able to see that. If it was right next to the fence, you'd be able to see it, but Pythagoras says you can't right now.
Damn that Pythagoras.
Yeah, I
He's
don't
a
know him.
jerk.
What happens when I go out of sight of it?
So you're going like
I
further
sort of
around.
I'm gonna until it unless I see it move.
It's gonna move to keep an eye on you.
I see.
Can I ready an action that if it charges, can I like run forward to try to like grapple it and just take like a forward step stance, like just in case?
Okay, at this point, let's roll initiative, and we'll play it out in initiative order. Doesn't necessarily mean we're in combat, but just for ease.
11 for me.
11 Sylvaris.
8 for
22.
Claire.
I'm going to take a cautious approach to this combat with a 2. I mean, a strategic decision.
Bardor, would you like to do anything at this moment in time?
I'm going to cast a long strider on myself. Smudge a bit of dirt in my hand.
Okay, Eska and Sylvaris, what would you like to do at this stage?
Sort of kind of keep looking backwards and forwards between the bird and them and sort of shrug, unsure what to do. I guess I will take the dodge action as I'm kind of in this kind of space where I'm kind of scared to move, but also want to stay safe.
And Sylvaris, you're holding your grapple still?
Yeah, he'll step forward a little bit and be ready to pounce.
Okay.
I feel like I've suddenly accidentally become the bait.
You hear, "Good job."
Okay, so as you two are looking at this top one here, you hear from to its left somewhere another sound coming from that cluster of trees. Slightly angrier than the first one. Claire, what would you like to do?
She is going to just kind of ready her shield and look worried.
Excellent. So, top one goes, and sure enough, it is going to charge at Eska.
I think at this stage I have to stand and just attempt to, sort of bob and weave.
So, Varys, make an athletics check for me.
And rolls a 10.
Just enough. Okay, so you are prepared, and you're able to spring in, and you can attempt to grapple the axe beak as it comes in to attack Eska. So that's a contested. It's athletics on your side, and athletics or acrobatics on mine. Ruh-roh.
21.
I got an unnatural 20.
Wow.
As close as you can get. But okay, so this axe beak is grappled. It does still manage to get a swing at Eska. Does a 7 hit?
7 just misses.
Just misses. Man, AC of 8. I'm so close. Okay,
Sylvaris
so
is going to take credit for that and be like, "You're
Sylvaris is trying to like get hold of this ostrich lake bird with an eagle head. At the moment, you kind of have its body contained. You can see it's still kind of swinging its. It's got freedom of movement of its head and neck. Cassette, it's your turn.
I can only imagine that this looks ridiculous.
All I'm picturing right now are those ostrich races.
Yeah. Yeah, so Varius needs to attempt to turn this into mounting it and then ride it around.
Man, I miss my animal handling.
And I
Probably.
I did not have long strider on me, correct?
Well, I'd cast it on you.
Yes, yeah. it was
Oh,
cast
okay. I
before
didn't know if
combat.
you were awake. Okay.
Should be the next 55 minutes. You're slightly quicker.
It's an extra 10 feet.
And then I guess I'll just dash. Do I get the 10 feet?
Mhm.
Do I see anything?
You do. You see one very angry mama bird who spins around when she hears you clank around the corner, and then you see a large pile of leaves and twigs and stuff here in the in between the trees. And you think that there's some sort of feathers in there too. Cater goes. You hear him use the spell summon popcorn, so that he can enjoy watching this. So a series of pop 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 as his popcorn is created, and
He summons the corn unpopped and then also pops
yeah, and then he gives half to Julia, and they just sit and watch the combat unfold. Bador,
How big is the nest? I'm assuming I can see it now.
it's about 15 feet across.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna dash.
Between those trees at the back there, another one, and this one looks, it's enraged. It is not happy that Cassette's just shown up. It hasn't paid you any mind at this point.
Okay, I'll just hang out there.
Eska and Silveris, you're up.
Silvarius is going to try to shove this thing prone while he's got it in his grips.
Okay. Let's have another contested athletics check.
Ooh, 9.
I rolled a nat 2.
Yeah.
So, Bird is now knocked prone.
Silvarius just goes,
Get down!
Head is still sort of flailing around a little bit, but it is now off its feet.
Eska just absent-mindedly grasps at the pendant at her neck, asks her goddess for a little help, and will cast Expeditious Retreat. She will say to Silverius, "Good work," and then she will run through the opening into the whatever this little corner is to here.
Okay.
Have a look around.
It is
See if
going
she
to
can
try
see-
and bite at
Oh,
you.
yeah,
as you go
sorry.
past.
Yeah, I'm not disengaging. I'm just trying to run past it,
So
slash
it's
over it.
disadvantage. 15 to hit.
That does not quite hit. What do I see when I sort of break into this little corner section
From there, you can see the nest in the corner.
in the bottom left corner? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it easy to see how many eggs are in the nest? Or if there's a lot, or if there's any, or if there's a few?
Make a perception check at disadvantage.
Okay. 7.
You cannot see from there.
Eska will run up behind said bird and will attempt to sort of get its attention. I guess I'll run right up next to it, so I'm kind of somewhat more in its eye line.
Yeah, you get its attention.
And I'll just sort of call out to it, and for my action, I will take the dodge action again.
And now that you're closer to the nest, you can see there's no eggs in there. There's a little baby.
Oh,
Oh no.
that complicates things.
The mama bear right there. She takes a swing at you. This is a straight roll, despite
no.
your dodge action.
Oh dear.
Oof. It was an 8. She is livid, and she moves slightly down to step between you and her little baby. Okay, next up, baby. Baby gives a massive screech, and Silverius, you hear this, the sort of pitiful screech coming from over there, and you see the bird that you have currently grappled seems to sort of shake with rage. Looks like he's kind of getting pumped up. Claire, your turn.
All right, seeing herself suddenly in the middle of this field with no one around her, she
Yeah.
is going to
Is she
very
gonna go and get some
hurriedly.
popcorn?
She's gonna dash all the way over here around the corner of the, I'm guessing, windmill. I'm guessing the big building is the windmill. So she's gonna jog around the corner of that building, and as she's going past, as a bonus action, she is going to cast Shield of Faith on Arius.
Okay.
So he will have a +2 to his AC
All
for
right.
the next 10 minutes, as long
Yeah.
as she maintains her concentration.
Do love Shield of Faith.
Which, judging from her flower picking, could go at any moment.
I don't know. She was pretty focused on picking her flowers.
That's true. Is she still carrying them now,
Yes,
or she
you
put them
see
down?
flowers just flying past the trees as she's running.
Nice.
So, Various, I need you to make an athletics, please,
I've got this.
as the X-Beak tries to break free from your grapple.
22.
Okay. It manages to kind of clock you over the head, but doesn't really do any damage. It got a 19, so it was not able to stand up, unfortunately. That was its action. Cassette,
Okay, so just one nest.
there's one nest, and there is one baby in the middle of it that you can now see because it's stood up and screamed bloody murder.
Can I reach? Does there seem to be any feathers in the?
Yep, there's feathers in there. There are some loose feathers that have been used to kind of soften some of the nest.
Then I will reach down, say, "Pardon me," and grab 2 handfuls of feathers,
Okay,
or as many.
make a sleight of hand check.
Yeah, DM. What kind of roll?
Make a sleight of hand check first.
And it looked like a
I
20.
know.
You know, that's the thing. It just
And so you're in there and you're grabbing away, and you think you've got some feathers, and when you look down, somehow you've only come out with one. I also need you to make a dexterity saving throw, as the baby swings around and tries to nip at you.
10.
Okay. It does not. It does not get you. It kind of like nips you, but it's like on like the armored part of your arm. It does no damage. Badur, you're up.
Do I see, or do I know that there's a baby in there?
Yes. Yes, you have heard that there's a baby.
I'm actually going to try to grab the baby and run.
Oh, God.
Okay.
I'll probably just try to keep the momentum going and loop around Cassette.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, first things first. As you run up to try and pick up the bird, make a dexterity saving throw to see if it nibbles you.
13.
8 to hit. Once again, I'm pretty sure that misses.
Yes.
So it fails in its attempts to nibble you.
Okay.
Now make athletics or acrobatic. No, athletics only for you. Oh,
7.
I rolled a 6.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, so you successfully pick up the baby bird.
What an epic battle this is.
Yeah, speaking of drawing earlier, if Eli could draw this whole thing in like comic format, that would be great.
A bunch of bird grabbing and pinning.
We're trying to be non-lethal.
It's like the most aggressive petting zoo in the world.
All right, so I technically get another 5 movement, right, from my first deal to grab the.
It will be
bird, or-
basically like to get to where the bird is, you have to move into its square to pick it up.
Yeah.
So that would be your 7th
Right.
to get there.
So,
As soon as you move, Mama's going to get a swing.
yes. So, do I continue my movement or
Well, let's see.
just wait?
I don't think this is going to put you down, but it's a definite hit. She's swinging with advantage.
Okay.
It is 22 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay. And she did max damage, which is 12 slashing.
Ooh.
2.
Right now, she's kind of like a barbarian axe beak.
Okay.
She literally is getting rage like stuff happening here because you're trying to run away with her baby. So she takes a giant chomp down. It's kind of like it's weird. She doesn't actually bite you. She just uses the point of her beak and like uses it like an axe and like slashes down your back. So she carves like a big gash down your back as you run away with her baby.
So I'm gonna scooch out between the fence there and Cassette.
Uh-huh.
I've just realized that we never came up with an end to this plan.
Get him away.
But where away?
yeah. Like, I think that might be achievable. I'm just curious where this stops. And how this stops.
Cassette just looks and goes, or you could just do that.
I,
The baby.
I just scream. I just scream. Run away! Run away!
Cassette, make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Ooh, 19.
Okay. As Bardor runs past with the baby, it snaps out at you.
Oh.
That's Bardur's new.
Wait, it already took its reaction.
This isn't a reaction.
This is Bardur's new weapon.
11 to hit. It misses.
It's
right.
Like an axe.
Who had session 6 for when we were going to fight monstrous birds that felt green?
Hey,
I thought it would be a little further into the campaign.
to be clear, these are straight out of the monster manual. So,
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
these aren't out of my head. These are proper, legitimate birds.
As will be all the birds we face every week.
I mean, let's be fair though. Like, aren't all of the monsters we're gonna fight from now on gonna be birds?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like that's appropriate.
Yeah, he just started with the monster manual, and Axebeak was under it.
Yeah.
So like,
Just
we'll
gonna
just
go
work our way through the.
alphabetically. The whole
Yeah,
monster manual.
As Bardor's made a run for it, from the southeast, you hear a horrific scream, flying in, seemingly attracted by the cries of the baby. You see a manticore.
Oh god.
Approximately lion-shaped, huge leathery wings and a viciously spiked tail behind it. It's approximately 40 feet up right now. It flies in a little closer, and based on its angle and its height, it's going to, in mid-air, like it flicks its tail underneath it, and 3 barbs come out, one at each of Eska, Cassette, and Claire.
I still have my dodge going, I think. Just putting that out there.
Yes, you do. That is accurate. On Eska, then, disadvantage. Whew, okay, well, the first roll was a 24. Second roll, though, is a 14 to hit, so I'm assuming that misses.
It does.
Okay, on Cassette, that is a 10 to hit. And on Claire, I'm rolling so badly for attacks. 16. 16 hit you, Claire?
I have 16 AC.
You have 16 AC. Okay. Out of nowhere, you hear that screech, and then... so it is 6 piercing damage as the spine comes in and gets you right in the tuchus.
Can anybody see Cater and if he's still enjoying his popcorn as much as he was a moment ago? I guess Silverius could see.
You hear a loud crunch, as if popcorn is still being consumed quite happily.
Wow.
Yeah, Silverius does have an angle. Yeah, you can see him happily eating popcorn. He's telling a joke to Garth, who's chuckling as he works in the field.
Some of the other one's name is Wayne.
No, it's Myron, I'm afraid.
Damn it.
Okay, next up is the baby. Bardor, make a dexterity saving throw.
22.
I rolled a 1 and a 3 to hit.
Remind me what concentration is.
It's a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution. Okay.
Yeah, just got to beat a 10, since it's 10 or half the damage, whichever.
Well,
Oh boy.
Okay.
That would be a 3.
Yeah, that is indeed a 3. So Shield of Faith drops.
I'm really lost for what to do now.
Throw the baby bird to the manticore.
Now, that sounds like what Liz is saying. Liz is not lawful good, it turns out.
Can I recall on any information about manticores that I know?
They are very mean. They are smarter than than a lot of sort of these crazy wild creatures. They are just as dangerous up close as they are from range.
Do you have anything, Exca, before I do anything?
Yeah. Yeah, here I go.
Go for it.
Action, disengage. So I just try and like step back away.
Okay.
I then run northwards.
If it helps, you would
Yes.
know that the Axebeak bit bar door or slashed at bar door,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
and it has not gone since.
Oh,
So you don't
that's.
need to disengage.
I thank you for that information. In that case, I unsling my
Action,
bow.
disengage.
Yeah. I am going to take the opportunity then. Seeing the manticore and fearing that could be a greater threat, I am going to attempt to drive it off with an arrow. It's going to be a 17.
That hits.
Nice. I do 10 damage.
Okay.
I'll take it.
You loose a bow shot, and
Does it look shaken to its core?
To its
it
manticore?
looks really angry.
Okay, I'm going to, in that case,
And
Go.
it is staring a hole right at you, right through you. It's oh dear.
and then I go into a kind of blurry blur, and I duck behind the fence.
You managed to get over the fence. We're around the fence.
Oh, I just went around.
Okay,
I dashed from my bonus.
I got you.
I was really tempted just to run back past Silverius in the hope that he would be enough distraction, but I'd be out in the open, so.
Silverius, you're up. You're currently still pinning the male Axebeak to the ground, and has been struggling against you.
Cater, care to do something? We have a manticore here.
He drops some
Still?
popcorn in shock,
Excellent.
and then bends down to pick it up and eats it.
Oh.
I mean, 5-second rule, so.
Yeah, he was pretty swift about it.
Silvarius is going to lose his grip. No, wait. He sees Bardur. Okay, no, he's just going to keep his grip, keep this thing pinned down, and he's going to take a moment to just try to rip some feathers out of it.
Make an acrobatics check.
2.
Okay.
On the plus side, that would have been bad whatever you rolled, so, yeah.
You now have a feather and a very angry Axebeak. Bottom one looks conflicted.
The mother?
Yeah. So it's going to run around Cosette and up to Bardoor. Cosette, do you want to make a reaction as it goes past you?
Yes, please.
What would you like to do?
I will swing
Definite hit. Yep.
11 blood.
All right. Like you nearly knock it off its feet as it runs past, and it catches up to Bardoor, and it has another rake down Bardoor's back. It's 23 to hit,
Yeah, it hits.
but only for 5 slashing. And it screams. Quite
So do I.
really quite loud. Yes, that's fair. Claire, you're up.
Ah. Okay, so with a incredibly just panicked aura about her, she just kind of yells out, "What the feck is going on?" And she's gonna
Is that
run.
her turn?
Yeah. So she is gonna run up to Bardoor, slap him right on the forehead. Your wound. So for 11 HP.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Thanks.
And then with her remaining movement, she is going to scurry around the corner.
Do me a favor. Just also make an unarmed strike attack with Claire.
And I'm dead.
Let's see. That's just a strength, right?
Yeah, it'll just be regular roll plus strength.
A 15.
Yeah.
Does it? You lose 1 point back
So 10.
from the ferocity of the slap.
Yeah.
It's cure wounds with a question mark.
Yep. It's a very questionable cure wounds.
It gives and it takes. What can you do? Okay. All right. So Varys, we go again. Athletics or acrobatics, please. No.
9.
It got a 21.
Oh man.
It breaks free from the grapple and stands up, and then looks towards the baby, and it's very badly wounded. Misses. Cassette.
I will grab.
He is on the mission.
Give me acrobatics with
Stick to the
advantage.
plan.
You've had a chance to look in there this time. See what you can grab
You said acrobatics?
with advantage. Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah, you get a good handful this time. Little hard to count in the moment.
Can part of that action be like stowing them or something?
Yeah, yeah,
I
that's
can
fine.
Still have my foot. Yeah, okay. And then I'm gonna move. Still have long shredder, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's not concentration, thankfully. Bador, it's your turn.
I think.
If you want to get out of danger, just hand the bird to Cassette.
Yeah, that's true.
Take off running.
It's like Blood Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a chance of an interception, but Silveris is open for the throw.
That's true. Actually, what I'm gonna try to exploit that gap there between the Papa axe beak and the fence, and I'm just gonna run through. And hopefully
Make
this
a
works.
dexterity saving throw.
Oh,
Oh
no.
man!
Yeah.
Well,
But for the first
there-
time,
there's
the baby
fumble.
is getting a normal attack roll. Baby hits. 21 to hit.
Yeah, that hit.
Okay, it does half damage though. It looks up at you and just like nuts you on the head. You take 4 slashing damage as the point of its beak like digs into your forehead. Pretty much the same spot where Claire struck you. It's almost like it took that as a sign of where you were supposed to be hit.
I assume I'm going to be attacked by the father.
If you don't disengage, you will be attacked by probably both. Because you'll be attacked. The mother, as soon as you move 1 square up, you'll be attacked by the mother, and then if you get more than 5 feet from the father, he'll also get a swing.
Okay. Yeah. Well, disengaging seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
Um,
Obviously, you can't get as far. That's the downside. But
can I throw it?
the baby.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess here's my thing. I'll tell you what I'd like to do, and you let me know if it's possible. I'd like to throw it up towards where the father's at, and potentially jump over the.
Okay. Give me a athletics check,
Okay.
followed by an acrobatics check.
21
Okay.
for the athletic.
Yeah, you successfully hoy the bird at the papa bear.
16.
Okay. Yeah, you Cassette kind of comes around and stands next to you, and she's standing. You've got a shield in one hand, flail in the other. Is that right? So as she comes around, you spy an opportunity. You just throw the bird away at the father, who kind of like tries to gather it in, and then quickly spring off Cassette's shield as an extra boost, because you're not very tall and this fence is taller than you. But that gives you enough of a leap to hop over, and you are now the other side of the fence. The baby is now with the Papa. Cassette, if you will, make a dexterity saving throw as the bird goes flying past you. Does a 17 hit? Okay. So as it flies through, again, the disadvantage makes a difference there. You made your save.
Can I just say, like, guys? Guys?
So there's this
You're just standing there with like a fistful of their feathers between them.
this little whirling dervish of feathers and beak goes past you and just deflects off your shield. It's the second time that something has deflected off your shield in the past 6 seconds. Bardor was standing there and is suddenly not there anymore. Bardor, anything else on your turn?
I'm gonna run, but like as I you see my legs just go dangling over the top. I'm just like, sorry.
Right. Next up is the Manticore. So the Manticore flies over here. It's like gone past the little grove of fruit trees.
I somehow, in my mind, running out with the eggs was a good solution. I really didn't sort of think it through long term.
But it was a better solution until a manticore popped
Yeah.
up out of nowhere.
The
Yeah.
real wrench.
Well, that I think it was that following the fact that the egg had already hatched and could now attack us as we ran away with it.
Roll me 3d8. No, that's fine.
118.
Okay. Funnily enough, Cassette, the axe beaks give you cover. The Manticore looses another volley of shots. 2 of them go against the father, 1 against the mother. First one against the father. 23 to hit for 11 damage. Second one against the father. 16 to hit for 10 damage. With that, the father falls. Third shot on the mother is 23 to hit for 7 damage. Mother is still up. Manticore is currently only about 10 feet off the ground, which means if you're within 5 feet of it, possibly you might have to hop a little bit, but you are going to be able to hit it with weapons. Next up is the baby. The baby just turns around and buries itself in the feathers of its fallen father, curls up there, doesn't know what to do. Eskens,
Do I get an opportunity? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
yes, you do.
I decline.
Eska Silverius, you're up.
I come around, peek around the corner, see the manticores getting closer, and I'm going to loose another shot at it. That is oh no. I think that's the natural one.
So you go to fire the Manticore. Having shot it once before, you feel confident. You feel too
I really
confident.
did.
And you loose the shot, and it, just as you get ready to release it, you pull too far back because you're trying to get too much power on it. And you actually pull it back to the point where the arrow just falls out from where your finger is, and when you release, there's no arrow in there. And you look down, and it's just it's gone point down into the ground at your feet.
I look around to see if Silverius saw.
Claire definitely saw that happen. Silverius saw that too, I'm afraid. Silverius then?
Seems that we have a bigger problem.
And he is going to go on into a full-bore sprint towards this manticore. Use the dash action.
Okay.
And then I'm going to action surge and try to jump up and grab this thing.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Here
All
he
right.
goes again.
You can definitely get up to reach it. So that's not a problem. Be contested athletics again.
Oh no, 10.
It has a 12, I'm afraid. So you reach up and you briefly grab onto its paw and start pulling it down, and then another paw comes around and just bats you off, and you fall back down to the ground.
Got him.
You seem to have its attention. So that's a thing that's happened. The other axe beak comes up and just huddles with the baby over the fallen father. Does nothing else. Claire, your turn.
Whew. So just repeatedly uh and frantically saying over and over, "Oh God, oh God, oh God." She's going to peek out from around the corner and she's going to fire a fire at the manticore.
Okay. Fire away.
So that would have been a 24 to hit
Yep.
with 7 damage.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that fully hits into the chest, and Silverius, you're close enough to get a real good smell of burning fur. And it snarls and looks generally unhappy with the world. Cassette, you're up.
Oh, and to finish
Oh,
her movement,
yes, sorry.
Claire's going to duck back around behind the corner of the building.
Very well.
Okay, so seeing the birds kind of distracted, I suppose, I'm going to turn my back to them,
Bird does not take an attack of opportunity as you flee.
and I will attack.
Okay.
I can reach it with just a regular melee.
Yeah, you've got to do a little hop to get up there, but yeah, you can hit it. Yeah, that hits. 19.
And I'm going to use a divine.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was reading. So
So,
if I use first level spell, which is all I have, I do an extra 2d8
yeah,
radiant
so
damage.
3d8 plus your strength, so 20 damage.
Ooh.
So you leap up to get to this creature, and as you sort of bring the flail up in a sort of uppercut type swing, like the various sort of tendrils of the flail just shimmer with energy as you mutter a prayer under your breath, and you almost briefly see them like get sharper as just as it strikes, and then there's a ripple of bluish white energy as it latches in, and the manticore shrieks in pain, and it is bleeding profusely from the wound. It's looking pretty rough now.
Sweet description. Spoken like a true paladin.
That's the beauty of Smite right there, isn't it? That's a really good roll of damage too. Badur, you are up.
I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark, and I'm going to strike with shoot at it with my long.
Okay, 17 hits. Yeah. 5 piercing, and then give me another d6 for the Hunter's Mark. 4. Okay, so 9 piercing. Loose your shot, and it comes into kind of. You're not overly familiar with feline anatomy, but where you would approximate a clavicle would be on a humanoid, that's kind of where the shot goes in. There's another shriek, and the manticore is looks like it's struggling to keep itself aloft now. It's looking very rough. It is the manticore's turn. It drops down to the ground. Okay, it's going to take 2 swings at Silverius, and then 1 at Cassette.
On the first swing,
Yes.
I will use my reaction to stick my shield out to try to protect him too.
Okay, so it goes to bite at Silverius, which will now be at disadvantage. I think both would have missed, but the second one was a natural 1, so that definitely misses. It tries to chomp down on you and just ends up getting a mouthful of shield. As Cassette interposes herself, it rears up and on its back legs and brings its paws down at both of you. So firstly at Silverius, that is a 23 to hit.
Hits.
Okay, 9 slashing damage as it brings its paw down and pushes you towards Cassette. And then on Cassette, wow, that is a crit. 25 for 10 slashing damage, and it meals you both together and there's just this moment where you're sort of tangled together as it slaps you both, cutting through the armor and leaving you both gasping for breath. The baby doesn't do anything. Eska and Silverius.
Recoiling from the hit, gonna shift. No, that's gonna shift. Silvaris is going to flourish his blade one time as it ignites into a light white flame as he strikes out with a 16 to hit.
16 hits. And you actually swing around and you just carve off its left wing as it's trying to sort of flap around. It just comes down, cauterizes the wound instantly, and now it can only fly in circles. That's really cruel.
And then I'm gonna say over to Cosette, "Let's finish this thing." And he kind of like growls while using my bonus action Second Wind for 9 hit points back.
Okay, Eska.
She pops her head back out, picks up the arrow that she dropped last time, and is going to attempt to put it into the manticore. 10. Never mind.
Unfortunately, 10 flicks off. I mean, your aim is good. You overcompensated from last time where you tried to put too much power on it. You tried to kind of lessen off this time. And the arrow reaches the manticore, but there's not enough oomph behind it to pierce through its thick hide.
That makes sense. She, before she even sees what it did, she is ducked back in. She just kind of flashes out for a moment, fires off the arrow, and ducks back behind the wall.
Claire, it's your turn.
All right, so in a repeat of previous actions, she is going to pop out from behind the building and shoot off another fireball at the manticore.
Fire away. I don't understand.
Hit, but only 2 damage this time.
Okay, yeah, 21 hits. And yeah, just more singed fur. Manticore is sort of prowling around angrily. This mote of fire comes across and burns its mane, and it whips its head around angrily. I actually whipped my head around and nearly took my headset off. It's not really sure where that came from, but it assumes it was Silverius since there's a burning sword in his hand. Cassette, you're up.
I will do one, hopefully final downwards. Oh,
You go for that swing, and it comes through right as the firebolt hits, and so it rears out of the way. So you end up bringing your flail down right past its nose, and into the ground. It takes you a second to sort of dislodge it. Such was the force behind the blow. Badur.
All right, I'm gonna pop back out and take another shot with my longbow.
Okay. You got this. The creature's looking in awful shape right now.
11 Z's. And then for the hunter's mark, 5. So 16 total.
Okay. So you take a second, steady yourself. Cassette's kind of in your way and kind of not, but you just breathe, take a second, loose your shot, and it actually goes right underneath Cossette's arm and right between the ribs. And there's a moment where Manticore's still carrying on before it realizes what's happened. And it just slowly slumps to the ground with a pitiful sort of mewing sound, and it stops moving. Manticore is defeated.
Can I kind of not run, but like put my weapon away and put my palms up and try to approach the
You may make
a bird diplomacy?
animal handling or persuasion.
Ooh, yeah, persuasion 20.
Ooh, gosh. They let you approach without snapping at you.
Can I put a hand down and try to lay on hands the father? I don't know how long it's been.
Yeah.
Roll a religion check, determining how persuasive you can be to convince your god to intercede.
Ah, I see. Okay. Not great. Sick. Although it looks like a 17.
It does
Cocked.
look like a 17.
Reroll.
It does. It looks cocked. Reroll it. I think we've done that before, where it looks like it's got two different numbers on it. So reroll it.
Oh!
Oh,
It
Ah,
actually was 17.
There you go.
it was meant to be.
Yeah.
So
17 plus 3.
you take a moment. What'd you have for a holy symbol with cassette?
Yeah, I think it's on my shield. I was looking on my thing. I didn't.
Okay. But yeah, so you just take a moment and sort of put a hand down on the father. Normally, this is something that happens straight away, but eventually, you feel that warmth push out, like it does when you heal yourself. The chest starts rising again and falling on the male bird, and it looks up at you, and there's just a little moment of connection there, where it sort of looks at you and acknowledges you. The two birds start to move away, baby happily following in tow. Does anyone do anything? Okay.
I'm going
I'd
to
love
shoot
to
it
tackle
with
one
my
of
bow.
them.
The adults or the baby?
Baby, obviously. Let's get this fight going again.
And the mothers, they can't go very fast. The mother's still very badly wounded, not to the point of no return. And eventually they make it off to the north and away. At this point, Julia and Cater come around the corner.
Claire immediately like just slumps down the side of the building. She's just sitting down.
What was all that racket? Says Cater.
Savaria steps around the corner and says,
We've already had this discussion. You dropped something.
as he points to the popcorn at his feet.
I was negotiating with Julia for the remaining ingredients we needed. What? And then he kind of looks and sees the fallen body of a manticore. What the hell is that?
It's a
Manticore.
bleeding manticore. What do you think it is?
Wow. You know what? Incrim might look kindly on us if we can harvest some of those spines. I think you might be able to make something out of that. I can give it a go, but maybe you can give me a hand, bud, or seems like it might be up your alley.
I nod and then I head off towards the manticore.
Go ahead and roll a survival.
I got 12.
Yeah, so did Cater. So you're able to get 4 of the remaining quills in reasonable condition. The other ones, unfortunately, just break as you're trying to extract them. A little bit tricky. Don't have much experience with quill extraction, unfortunately. But now you know for next time. And should you come across a manticore again, you might have better luck.
Eska's gonna sidle on over once they're done with that. Get a couple of things off the manticore if possible.
Sure. What you looking for?
She would like to attempt to get like 2 or 3 of its smaller teeth.
Okay.
She'd also like to get like a strip of its hide that's like about a foot by a foot. If depending on how things go.
Give me 1 survival check for the teeth and 1 survival check for the hide.
I'll ask is like, you want some help with that last?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. Have advantage on both.
6 and
Okay.
number 2 for a 16.
Okay. The teeth are tricky. Turns out it's been brushing and flossing regularly. So you do get a couple of small teeth, but they're a little bit damaged from your efforts to get them out.
Okay.
They're not really in great shape, but you do have a couple of manticore teeth. And then you're able to get a patch of undamaged hide, approximately a foot by a foot. Nice quality manticore hide. Yep, that's fine.
Cool. Thank you.
Cater says, So I talked to Julia. We're good. Basically, we can take as much as we need back to Ingfram. She's even willing to, if we need to, we can borrow either Garth or Myron or one of the horses to load up to help carry, because some of this stuff's quite big. I mean, 2 bushels of wheat per potion is quite a lot. So, but we can use the horse to carry a lot of that weight.
How is the weather seeming? Is the weather seeming like it's safe to return right now?
You think if you hurry, you should just get there in time. A little risky. You're a little wounded. Are you gonna actually do Druidcraft again, or are you just like eyeballing it?
I'll do a quick check.
Okay. Um.
I'll just plunk myself down briefly and do as I did earlier. See what I get. I
Okay.
don't know how accurate it is or not.
Probably no more than an hour before the storm rolls in. Pretty ferocious, but not necessarily that long lasting. Maybe a couple of hours. So, and then after that, there might be a light drizzle, but it's not going to be anything like being out in the storm.
Does she have these ingredients ready to go, or are we still going to have to collect?
They are in storage, so it would probably take at least 15 minutes before we have the horse ready and loaded.
There's a bad storm rolling in. Is there any chance we could take shelter temporarily?
Well, let's see. You've just ridded me of my axebeak problem and saved my farm and farmhands from a manticore attack. So yes, I think I could probably be persuaded to allow you to stay for a while.
That's most gracious. What does everyone think?
Probably a good idea.
I'd be okay with a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys look terrible.
So you are able to enjoy the benefits of a short rest in the mill house here. Storm rolls in just as you're finishing off some nice bread with local jams and honeys. And you can sort of just stand there kind of admiring it as it comes through and creates a little bit of carnage around the farm. One of the fruit trees in the orchard gets knocked over. Generally, not too bad, all things considered. And yeah, we can leave it there with you guys rested and ready to return back to Delzimer.
Hooray!
Yay.
Nobody died.
Yeah, that actually went better than I thought it was going to go.
It sounded crazy to begin with.
Yeah, I was like, well, I'm gonna die.
It seemed like you got pretty close.
Yeah,
I
a
did.
couple of people got close there.
Claire helped out a lot, actually.
Yeah, with that, mighty healing slap in the face.
Yeah, with the televangelist smack. Yeah.
Also, Silveris, you would have enough of a break here to spend some time on your spell, because
I was gonna ask that. Yeah, if
Yeah.
we were gonna be hanging out for a while,
Yeah.
Savaris would have found a spot in the corner, cracked the window open, and then began casting his spell.
Yeah. So that would go off. Eli, remind me, it's sort of bluey white. Is that what you said?
Yeah, kind of a bluish whitish.
Does he have a name?
If he were to name it, I actually do have a name for it, but it's in a folder.
Okay, that's fine. We can come back to that.
We're going to be taking a short rest.
Yes, you can take a short rest, so you can use hit dice at this point, and things that recharge on a short rest recharge.
Silvaris, he actually would have taken a moment to approach Cosette and be like, he would just have a brief conversation with her, complimenting her capabilities.
She would respond, but clearly just kind of exhausted from, a little surprised that it didn't.
I'm a little surprised it didn't end up worse.
Man, I was like, we're done.
Yeah, out of character, I'm actually very surprised.
Yeah, I am too.
I think I was most worried when Barda was there on like quarter health in between two giant birds with a manticore flying in. I was like, I don't know
Holding
what's
the
going to happen
baby.
here, but it looks bad. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, throwing the baby away was absolutely the best thing you could have done. Because
Yeah,
as soon as you release the baby, they lost interest. But yeah, there we go. So you are currently still at the Ringheart Farm. That's where we'll pick up next time.
Thank you very much for watching / listening / I don't know. There might be another option. Let me know if you do something else other than listen or watch. Tune in next time as we discover what on earth Silverius just conjured. Also, don't forget, we are available on Apple, iTunes, that's the same thing, Spotify, Amazon, everywhere, basically. If you want a podcast in podcast form instead of on YouTube, or if you listen to a podcast and you think, oh, I'd really wish I could see this, go to YouTube. We are there as Fables from the Pickled Quipper, and you can see the action unfold before your eyes. We'll see you next time for more Fables from the Pickled Quipper.